Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Happy Saturday. All right, guys. So we are here for masterclass number 3. If you've been following along all week on Instagram, we had masterclass on Wednesday. We had one last night. And of course, tonight, the first one was growing your followers on Instagram. The second one, which was last night, was, of course, confidence on camera. So we did confidence on camera last night. If you missed it, there is a replay. So DM me for the replay. And this morning, of course, to tie it all together, we're going to make more profits in our business. Sound good? Absolutely. If you are watching, hello to you guys on Zoom. Good morning. And for those of you watching on Instagram, why don't you click the link in my bio, or it's in my stories as well. Grab the link and come on Zoom. I'll be here for an hour till 11 a.m. and we're going to talk about how you can make more profits fucking now in your business. Sound good? Guys, I'm recording it as well. So those of you who are signed up, who have been here all week, but are not here this morning because we had like 15 of you last night and we have a lower number today on Zoom. Everyone's still in bed. Eating our breakfast, eating our pancakes, all the good things. I love it. I'm jealous, guys. Do you know what? I struggled myself this morning. I was kind of like, whoo. It's been a week, but it's been fantastic. And super excited to get going with this. We are going to talk about how you're going to make more profits in your business. And this is for every business owner, not just those of you who are going to create an online course or a program. Of course, that's what I'm going to be pushing you guys to do and we're going to be talking about, but there's lots of other stuff that we're going to go through. So I am going to truck on through. I am recording. I might click over and lob it on Facebook as well. So, yes, I'll go live on Facebook. Yay. All right, guys. So let me share my screen and I am going to dive right into today's training. Take your notes, as usual, put the phones on silent, turn off Netflix, do all the things so that we can really focus on this. I'm going to give you some really good tips and strategies that you can just implement straight away. Sound good? Alrighty. So 3 simple shifts that you can make in your business today to make more money. These shifts will help you make more profits in the business. So the problem with making more money is that sometimes it comes at a cost. We've all seen, we want to get fully booked, right? So most of my clients who come to me, the main thing is I want to get fully booked. I want to, get more appointments in my diary. Brilliant. More appointments in the diary are brilliant because that helps us with our cash flow and it helps us to grow that cash flow. So problem number 1 when people come to me is that cash flow. So we work on getting more appointments, we work on becoming fully booked, but the issue then all the time is, okay, we're getting close to being fully booked. We're also going to get close to burnout if we continue in this one-to-one train. We've got to look at ways of making more money per hour in our business. Making more money per hour in our business. And it's putting simple shifts in place earlier on in the business so that we can do that. We all strive to be fully booked. And while, of course, that can be great, it can be also exhausting. So today I'm going to talk to you about growing the profits in your business, but also making sure that you work less hours, not more. I was talking to a client of mine the other day who does catering, so corporate catering. And what we're looking at there is, prices need to go up because her prices were too low on a lot of her stuff, but she was also doing different things within the business that was costing money. We have to be very careful around that. When we look at our products, we've got to look at how can we up those prices. If you're selling, I mentioned this last night and probably the night before, if you're selling, what have I got here? A little cream. If you're selling this cream to people, this hand cream, you don't want to just sell this to somebody. You want to sell them a full pack. You want to sell them a subscription model. You want to sell them reoccurring. So that's what we're going to talk about. Making more money, working less hours, because that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? We want you to be able to build a business of your dreams while also being there for your family and being able to do the things that you love. Because, of course, we deserve it. If you were here last night, we talked a lot around how we deserve it and how we're worthy of it. I'm going to show you how to unlock more profits and more time in your business by using 3 simple strategies so you can stop trading time for money and start building a business that works for you. So by the end of this training, you will understand the exact steps to increase your income while working fewer hours and giving time for yourself and your family. So let me ask you something. Are you stuck in that cycle of working one-to-one with clients? Now, it might be that you're working one-to-one, or it might be that you're selling one-to-one, as in you're selling one product and off they go and you never see them again. So do you feel like no matter how hard you work, there's never enough time to grow your business and never enough time to have time for yourself? And when you do take a break, as a lot of us need, when we take a break, we take a foot off the gas, what happens to our revenue in the business? It starts to tank, right? So we want to get you away from that. We want to get you, not that I'm suggesting anybody wants to be sick, but we need to be allowed to be sick. We need to be allowed to, get under the quilt for a few days and binge on Netflix without our business really, really suffering. And that is the biggest issue that I'm seeing with a lot of business women at the moment, is that if you're not in the business is not running. If you're not physically there, there's no physical money coming into the business. And that gets to change from today, guys. So if this sounds like you're in the right place. What if I told you there's a way to keep growing your profits and take back control of your time? That's what we're here to cover today. In fact, I'll be walking through exact steps that have helped my clients raise their rates, introduce group coaching programs, and create digital assets that generate passive income within the business, even while they're sipping on their coffee or with their friends or getting their hair done or hanging out with the kids or whatever the case may be. When I first started my coaching business, I was just exactly the same. I loved what I did, but I was exhausted. I was spending every hour working with clients, and while I was helping them, I didn't have any time left for myself. So my business was running me and not the other way around. One of the first years, I mentioned it last night, I got totally burnt out in my business, and I was really sick. I had to take a couple of weeks off. My business fell off a cliff in that time. I didn't have the proper processes set up, and I had to take 2 months off work, and I took a step back because it was proper burnout. And yes, the business suffered. Thankfully, I had good clients at the time who I loved and loved me, so they stayed with me and all of that, which was great. So I was able to sustain some of the business, but it really gave me a big lesson on how we really have to make sure that we have access to funds and we have access to selling while we are not in the business. So these 3 key shifts I want to talk to you about today is what I did in my business, like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and what I want you guys to start looking at in your business. As you know, today I'm going to talk to you about continuing working together. I want to work with every one of you in the Authority Builder, but if you don't feel that that's where you're ready to go yet, that's okay as well. I do have 2 more entry-level programs that we will talk about. I've Kickstart Your Authority, and of course I have the Be Inspiring membership. So there are other options to work with me. The key message today is don't leave today without figuring out that we're going to work together, because I want you to help. I want you to make these shifts in your business, and I want to help you doing it. A lot of people say to me, oh, I want to work with you, but I'm going to just get my finances in order first. But that's kind of putting the cart before the horse, because getting your finances in order is what I do, and helping you, make more sales and bring quick revenue into the business so that you can pay for the Authority Builder is what I do. My goal of the Authority Builder is that it doesn't cost anybody anything, that you actually make enough money to cover it. And if I'm talking to you in our initial meeting and I feel that, you're not ready, and I feel that you're not going to be able to make that kind of money, I will suggest other programs until you work your way through it and grow a bit until you're ready for the Authority Builder, because I don't want anybody finishing the Authority Builder without having made good money. Does that make sense? So here's the 3 shifts that you can make. Liz, no worries, a little bit late. That's okay. That's okay, guys. It's good to see you here. So what are the 3 shifts that you can make today in your business? Before we dive in here, who feels I need to up my game. Guys, you were all here for the last 2 days. You know we need to up our games. You know that we are meant for more. So let's see if we can relight that fire again. We lit the fire last night. We lit it again on Wednesday. So let's do it again today. Shift number 1 is raising your rates. And this sounds so super simple. So super simple. But if you look across, if you are seeing, let's say you're seeing 10 clients a week, one-to-one, and whatever your service is. And if you raised those rates by €5, that's 50 quid added to your week straight away in profit. It sounds really simple, guys. And most of the time we have reservations and we think, oh, well, you know, if I'm doing, let's say if I'm doing Reiki or reflexology or something, well, you know, I'm charging €65 for it. And there's a woman down the road and she charges €65 for it. So I can't put my prices up. But there's another woman down the road who's charging 70, and there's another woman who's charging 80, and there's another woman who's charging whatever the case may be. So oftentimes we get caught up looking at our competitors. 9 times out of 10, your customers or your clients will pay that bit extra for you because you're worth it. If you're a hairdresser, a beautician, you know, you're in the holistic space. If you're a business coach, certainly. You know, if you're selling a product, absolutely. So don't be afraid to come away. I always talk about it. Don't be afraid to come away from what I call bargain basement and start to raise those rates so that you become more of a luxury brand. When you raise your rates, guys, you are going to make more revenue in the business, but you can also service your customers better. And that's a huge thing. If it's a physical product, you can have nicer packaging. You can do, you know, extra customer service. If it's a coaching product, you can love on your customers a bit more. If it's a service, like a holistic service, you can give them that little bit extra. Become a luxury brand, guys. Decide from today, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to position myself as a luxury brand. Over on Instagram, most self-employed people don't know their worth and how to value their worth. Absolutely, guys, absolutely. Because what happens to us is we look at our competitors or we look around and we see someone selling it for something and we think, oh God, you know, she's doing it for that I better do it for that, or lower, even worse, lower, you know. But it's just a race to the bottom for a lot of us. And I mean with this with love, and I'm really sorry to say it, but a lot of business women out there have created an expensive hobby, you know, because you're working all the hours, you're doing all the things, and you're coming out with little pittance at the end of it. You might even be paying yourself minimum wage. One thing I like to do with my clients is I like to do a time study. So get out your paper, get out your book, and spend the next week or 2 weeks and clock the time that you work on your business. Write it down, the work that you're doing, because sometimes as a self-employed person, as we're saying over on Instagram, we don't realize the work that we're putting in. And by the way, marketing is part of your work, you know? So doing your videos for Instagram are not a little afterthought. It's not, oh, I've worked all day and it's 6 o'clock now, I'm going to sit on the couch and trying to do a video. Absolutely not. It's that you carve out an hour of your working day, and that's your Instagram time or your Facebook time or your marketing time. Same as you would your accounts. We have got to get better at being a business owner. Instead of being, as they're saying on Facebook or on LinkedIn or Instagram there, you know, being the self-employed person who's trying to do all the things and never really getting anywhere, never really getting to profits. If you're just starting out a business and you're going to deliver services, please, please, please do not position yourself low. I've worked with a lot of people, you know, let's say you're a florist and you're just starting out and you think, oh, well, you know, I don't have the experience that the florist down the road has, so I'm going to charge much, much lower. But sure, it's not sustainable. You know, Liz, you're starting out in your decluttering business. You know, it's not sustainable for you to charge minimum wage to go into someone's house and declutter it. In fact, it's ridiculous. And I mean that with love. And I'm not talking about you, you know, I'm not talking about you, but I just know that that's the business you're starting. And what I mean by that is, let's put it this way. If I was to say to you, I am an expert in helping people grow their businesses. I know that I can help you make 5 figures in your business. Imagine I said that to you, right? And if you're just starting out, I know I can help you do a 5-figure quarter, say, if you're at the very start, and then maybe a 5-figure month, and then of course a 5-figure week. If I'm somebody that's kind of claiming that, we see that a lot. And then I say to you, to sign up for my course, I'm going to charge you 100 quid. You'd go, what's she feckin' talking about? She's not going to help me make loads of money and only charge 100 quid. Does that make sense? She's not an expert in what she's doing if she's charging me Lidl and Aldi prices. Does that make sense? A long while ago, my dad is 86 now, right? But when he was 80, I wanted to book a party for his 80th. And there was a local hotel, beautiful hotel, a golf resort type place. And somebody had recommended it to me for my dad's party. And I was like, brilliant. Now, what I wanted was fancy. I wanted luxury. He was 80, for God's sake, we wanted to make it really lovely. We're all going to stay over the night. We're going to have a beautiful dinner and a party afterwards, nearly like a wedding. We were going all out, but I wanted it to be super special. Somebody recommended this particular hotel for me, right? And I was like, brilliant, I'll have a look. I went onto their website, and do you know what the first thing I saw was? On the front of their website was a big red banner that said January sale. Now it was January, and I understand that people are doing January sales, but what do you think the red banner and the sale sign did to me? It made me go, oh no, I don't want like a January sale. I don't want, the tackiness of a big red banner with a January sale. I want a nice hotel that's classy. And does that make sense? So I didn't book the hotel, which is mad. But my mind just went, that's not the vibe that I'm looking for. Okay, so that's not the vibe that I'm looking for. Great live video. You're speaking a lot of wise thoughts. Most self-employed people never ask for advice, but vitally important to network. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Thanks, John. But yeah, that's it. And as self-employed people, I suppose as well, we're always afraid to be the beginner. We're always afraid to kind of show, and especially when it comes to like your social media and stuff. And I said this last night on the live. Don't be afraid to pre-frame your video and say stuff like, this is my first reel talking to the camera, so I'm a bit nervous, so sorry guys. Because what does that do? It immediately makes you go, grand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're all up in the camera and the angles are wrong, or it doesn't matter if you press the wrong button, like I was talking about my client Sandra last night. Because if you say to people that you're just starting out and it's brand new, then they're going to expect it. So don't be afraid to be the beginner. There's nobody on Instagram who started out with thousands of followers. Every single person on Instagram started with 0, unless they were doing some dodgy dealings, which we won't talk about. Never do dodgy dealings. Never do follow trains. You'll get messages, oh, we're doing a follow train, follow me, follow this person, and repost this. No. None of that kind of stuff. We are real, authentic business owners. We grow our following on social media by delivering good quality content. Yes, network with business owners. Yes, say to your best pal in your business, listen, make sure you comment on my reel and I'll comment on yours. Of course, doing that is no problem. Or within your little business group, have a little deal with your pals that you'll share your stuff. Of course, that's perfect. But you see these people messaging you all the time saying, get in our follow train. Absolutely not. None of that. Never buy followers. Never do any of that stuff, because it will come back to bite you in the butt. All right. So anyway, back to raising your rates. Raise your prices. It's super simple. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be smaller steps, but I would bet that you are charging too little. When you raise your prices, guys, something happens, because you attract higher quality clients. Now, Liz, if I'm to look at what you're doing, I'm looking directly at you when I'm thinking of this, because you don't want to go into someone's house who are bargaining you down for price, who are and want to pay minimum wage. Absolutely not. Let them hire someone else to come in who's not an expert in what you're doing. You have to show your expertise by charging for your expertise. If I say to you I am an authority in something, and then I go and I charge you a bargain basement price, you're going to say, some authority she is, like she's charging a fiver. Prices reflect the service. You attract higher quality clients. I was back in my website days, very good friend of mine referred me to somebody to build a website, right? So I was like, brilliant. It was actually a Michelin star restaurant, and I was like, ooh, very fancy. And at the time, I'd been building websites for much more normal businesses. So this probably would have been my big break as like a big fancy website, So I knew I had to raise my prices. Now, at the time, I was only charging about, 2 to 3 grand for a website, which for small business owners, that can be a lot. But where I was positioning in the market, that was a no-brainer. But these guys I knew would be more into more luxury and would expect to pay more. So I created what I thought was a brilliant pitch, brilliant pricing, and I charged 5 grand, right? I went into the meeting, I blew them away. Of course I did, with my knowledge and my bounciness. I'm such a sap. But anyway, I went in and I did. We got on great. We had a lovely meeting. And they were like, oh my God, yeah, love this. Let's do it. But listen, we're meeting with a few other people. We're going to meet with a few other people and we're going to come back to you. Brilliant, right? So in my head, I got the sale. 2 days later, I get a message from him. Really sorry, we decided to go with someone else. And I was like, what? So as a good marketing business owner, right? As a good marketing, Captain says, love your bounciness. Thank you. As a good marketing business owner, what do you think I did when they said that they didn't want to go with me? A lot of people would go, crying and forget about it. But no, I went back to them and I said, listen, I'm a small business owner and I'm trying to grow my business. Could you please tell me why you didn't go with me and why you went with them? Do you know what they said? And I have learned from this. This was 10 years ago. And I swear, I feel like it's tattooed on my soul. They said, Denise, we loved you. We loved your pitch. We loved the information. But the next guy that came in, it's not that he impressed us anymore. His price was 10 grand. And we felt he could deliver the project better because he was charging more. Ugh. Still makes me sick to this day. And you know what happened 6 months later? That company came back to me and asked me to fix their website. And you bet I charged them 10 grand to fix it. But there's the lesson, guys. They literally did not hire me because I was too feckin' cheap. So please remember that. Yeah, madness. Remember that. We have got to put the big girl knickers on, and go the Superman pants and decide, Les Brown, I don't know if any of you guys listen to Les Brown, I love him, motivational speaker, but he says, stop being afraid of no. It's not like, so if I say to you, let's talk about my authority builder, right? So for a long time, I would cringe when I said, my authority builder is a 4 grand program. I used to kind of go, my authority builder, 4 grand, 4 grand. I'd be really embarrassed. Now I'm like, yeah, it's 4 grand. Absolutely. And well worth it because I stand in that power because I know. Now I have good results behind me that's helping me, backing me up. And I know that. And it's taken me a while. Of course, when I launched the Authority Builder, I launched it at a lower price and I creeped it up. Of course, there's all that. But we've got to, at some stage, decide that we're going to show up as a grown-up and stop second guessing and stop worrying. As Mel Robbins' new book, that let them theory, the let them theory, let them talk about you. Let them say, who does she think she is charging that for her program? Who does she think she is charging that for her product? Who does she think she is turning up on Instagram video? Fuck them all. It's time for us to stand in our power and grow our businesses, guys. Excuse me. When we raise our rates and we charge more, we get better quality clients. We get clients who are more committed. If you are a business coach or any kind of a coach or any kind of a teacher, you're going to get people more committed when they pay more. When you're down and you're paying lower and people are, there's a lot more. It's harder. It's harder because people that are at a certain stage of their business or a certain stage of their life and have more disposable income expect exactly what you're selling. They don't expect more. Sometimes people expect more. So clients who are more committed, clients who respect your time, and who value the transformation that you're providing. Plus, you'll find that you can work less hours and, of course, earn more. Guys, you can't see my screen on Instagram, but what is the difference between these two shops? If I said to you, I'm going in here to do my supermarket shop, I'm going into Marks and Spencer's to do my supermarket shop, already your brain is judging me because I do my supermarket shop in Marks and Spencer's, yeah? If I said to you, I'm going into Lidl to do my supermarket shop, already your brain judges me straight away because I'm going into Lidl. Would you agree with that? Nothing wrong with Lidl. Nothing wrong with, I do go to Lidl, of course I do. Nothing wrong with either shop. I go to Marks and Spencer's, I go to Lidl, depending on the day, depending on what I'm getting. Nothing wrong with them, but what I'm saying is there's a difference. If I said to you, I'm going to buy a new coat, and I go into town and I'm standing in front of two different shops, what's the difference? Am I going into Penny's to get the new coat, or am I going to Brown Thomas? What would you say to me? You might say, okay, if you're going into Penny's to get the new coat, you're getting a season out of it. Would you agree? You know, it's your coat for now. You'll get a new one next year or whatever. It's that disposable fashion, isn't it? That fast fashion that we know that the quality is not going to be great. If I'm going into Brown Thomas and buying myself a winter coat, what's going to happen? I'm going to be wearing it next winter. Does that make sense? The quality is going to be better. It might go out of fashion and it might be fecked, but you know yourself. But it's the quality that's the difference. Don't be Lidl or Aldi. There's nothing wrong with Lidl or Aldi, but don't be them. That place in the market is taken. That's already done. I can already go into Lidl or Aldi and buy stuff cheap. There is no point in creating an expensive hobby for yourself as a businesswoman. Les Brown says, know your vitamin. You know, he's like, it's not as if somebody says no to your pricing, it's not as if they're going to say no and then slap you in the head, you know, or go, no, like you're such a wagon, you know, you're such a bitch for trying to charge that, and I'm never going to speak to you again because you're trying to charge that. No, they're just going to say no, like I'm not in the market for that, or I can't afford it, or I'm not ready for it, or whatever. They will judge you more for having cheaper prices than for having more expensive. I guarantee that. So let's decide, like we decided last night. Remember, we put our hands on our hearts and we decided we were going to be authorities. Today, let's decide we're going to stop undervaluing ourselves. Let's decide that just because what we know and what we have and what we're delivering is second nature to us, it doesn't mean it's not super valuable to other people. Oftentimes, because we love our business and we do it so easy. Guys, I could do this in my sleep, what I'm doing here. I was laughing. I was saying to my husband, I was actually feeling I feel like I'm getting a bit bunged up, you know, and I went to bed last night. I could not sleep because when I do the webinars later, really what I should do is finish the webinar, get away from my computer and go for a walk with the dog and decompress. But of course, what I do, I finish the webinar, and because probably ADHD, I'm sitting in this chair, sitting at the computer, I get stuck here. It's like I am Velcro to my chair. So I'm stuck here, and it's an hour after the webinar and I'm still doing bits of work. I'm like, working away. Happy as Larry, by the way. Not going, oh God, I have to work, but like, and my husband's in the background, D, are you finishing? Come on. And I'm like, oh yeah, nearly done. And next thing it's 10 o'clock. And next thing he's going, you need to go to bed. So instead of decompressing, I go straight from my computer to bed and think I'm going to sleep. Not going to happen. So my brain is like, ooh. So I woke up this morning feeling a little bit bunged up, a little bit tired. And Alan, my husband's like, are you okay? Like, You're going to be okay for your webinar. Like, I could roll from the bed straight into my chair here and just be grand for the webinar because this is my goal. This is my passion. Does that make sense? So it doesn't actually matter. Like if I feel a bit crap or feel, and you guys are the same with what you love. When you love something, you get stuck into it and you do it. But here is the problem and here's the downfall that a lot of us do. Because we love it so much, it doesn't feel so much like work. So sometimes we undercharge. Sometimes we go, Ash, I'll just do that for you. Many times we've gone, I'll just throw that in. I'll just do that anyway. Because it's nothing to us, because it's our passion. But we get to charge handsomely for it. We get to charge properly. If we have something, if we have knowledge to share, or a service or a product to share that's going to help people, bring them joy, deliver them value, whatever it is our absolute duty to show up and sell it. Yes, I need oils, Catherine. I keep saying it. I keep saying I need oils. Sell me some. Come on. Does that make sense, guys? It is our absolute duty. By the way, there we go. Catherine proved it. It's Catherine's duty to sell me some oils because it's Catherine's fault that I couldn't wind down and sleep last night. If I'd have had her good quality lavender oil, I'd have slept better. Catherine? Does that make sense, guys? Can you see how we're breaking down those barriers? Because as business women, we often think, oh, I don't want to intrude. I don't want to be pushy in sales. Be pushy. Be feckin' pushy. Because you're never going to be icky pushy. You're never going to be like, oh, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. But we have to take action. So think about it, guys. What would it feel like to charge double what you're charging now? Or even triple? The first time I doubled my prices, I was in the web business and I thought I was going to vomit. I was looking at my first quarter in business and I had an expensive hobby, guys. I was building websites for £1,000. I was charging €1,000 to build a website. It was before Luke was born, was it? Yes, it was. So it was probably 11, 12 years ago. I was charging £1,000 for a website, but the problem was I was giving my all to the website. And, my clients were coming at me with nothing. They didn't know what they wanted. They didn't know what. So I was writing the website. I was helping with the photos. I was doing everything. As I do as a business owner, I always go all in, which is why I have to charge higher ticket because I'm only short of going washing your car and cleaning your house for you. So I have to. But in the web business, I wasn't making any money because I was doing so much for this €1,000. By the time I actually handed the website over, it had cost me money with my hours because I'd done what I said to you guys to do at the start of this thing, and that is a time study. Exactly how long was I charging or spending on each website, and it was ridiculous. When I did the time study over a course of 2 weeks, I realized I was paying myself less than minimum wage. I could have made more McDonald's than I was making building websites. So my business coach at the time said, you have to double it. I doubled it. I pitched a website for £2,000 that next week. And the guy said yes. And I nearly fell off my chair. And I was like, oh. So for about 3 months, I charged £2,000 for websites. And then in the next quarter, I went to £3,000. And that's where I settled. I was doing small business websites for £3,000. They were amazing. They were brilliant. I gave you all the bells and whistles. I gave you lots of marketing stuff with it. And they worked brilliantly. But the lesson there is that I was burning myself out. I was doing a disservice to the clients though, because they didn't know how much a website was. So they didn't care. Not that they didn't care, but if I was charging them £1,000 or £3,000, they just wanted a working website. But I was burning myself, myself out, burning these smaller websites. I could have done more. Does that make sense? So it's your duty to do more. It's your duty to deliver a really good product or service, but it's your duty to also charge properly for it. Okay, so if it scares you, that's why you need to do it. I remember a business coach of mine saying to me, if you give a price to someone and it doesn't make you go in your belly, it's too cheap. Yeah, especially when you're starting out, you're giving prices for your services. It has to make you go in the belly, and now you know you're getting close to where it should be. So that was shift number 1. Okay, ready for shift number 2? Have my big vitamin C water there. So shift number 2. Create your own group program, of course, a workshop, a membership, or a subscription model. When we look at these, I know, I'm like a broken record. The last three, this is the third masterclass, and I keep talking about these things because I believe so much in them. I was at a talk. I go to the States a lot. I'm going to Las Vegas in a few weeks. You are going to see my Instagram. I suggest you unfollow me on the 15th of February because I'll be in Vegas living it up. I'm only joking. But I will be in Vegas, and I will be at a huge internet marketing convention there. And I go there all the time. And that's where I learn all the skills and get all the new tricks and all the latest bells and whistles to come back and teach you guys. But while I was there a few years ago, there was two women who spoke on the stage, and they had a membership, right? Listen to this. They had a membership that was making millions, so more than 8 figures, millions of dollars every year in this business. And their subscription model, they were teaching people how to twist balloon animals. I kid you not, okay? I kid you not. We have all seen the guy or the girl who turns up at a kid's party and twists the dog out of the balloon, right? That is what these women were doing. They are called Twisted Sisterhood. And you can still find them on Instagram or on their website. And their business is a multi-million-dollar business, and they have reoccurring income. And they started that business. They started it, they charged $10 a month at the start. And for $10, you got access into a Facebook group, okay? And in the Facebook group, each week they did a live class, twisting balloons. 4 live classes a week for a tenner a month, or 4 live classes a month for a tenner a month. And then they added to that. Then you could get, your kits, of course. You could buy a kit from them. Then they got more expensive where you could get more, group coaching. Then you could buy jumpers that said Twisted Sister on it. They went all in, and they grew and they grew and they grew and they grew millions of dollars from feckin' balloons. Yeah. And there's some of you over there with, not that balloon twisting is not a real skill, it's brilliant, but there's some of you with like deep skills that can really, really help people and change their lives, and you're afraid. Does that make sense? I keep talking about my sock subscription that I bought. I can go into Pennies and I can buy any number of pairs of socks for a tenner. But for €15, I spend €15 per month on a sock subscription for my daughter. Why? Because she gets a kick out of it. She's 16, and when the envelope comes through the door and she gets her new pair of socks every month, she has a great laugh, and we have a great laugh, and it's an experience that I bought for her for her birthday last year for the crack. Does that make sense? Like, people will pay more for things packaged differently. People will pay more for convenience. Look at people in the States. Like, look at the States where the company DoorDash, I don't know if you know that, like they make a fortune. They don't sell any products. They don't sell anything of their own. They go to the shop and buy you something and deliver it to you. It's becoming more popular here. You see people in Dunn's all the time coming through with trolley loads of shopping that's not for themselves, but it's for someone down the road. Someone has paid them to go to the shop for them. We used to do it as kids. That was probably, most of us here watching, that was probably your first business, knocking into the neighbor. Can I go to the shop for you? You go and you get the bread and milk and they let you keep the change. Who knew we were in business back when we were 10? I don't know about you guys, but that's how I did it. I'd get an ice cream for myself and they'd say, keep the change, and I'd be delighted with my life. People pay for convenience. People pay extra for stuff like that. There are subscription models. There are memberships. Like, oftentimes, for a lot of you, you're starting businesses in the services of what you do, okay? So you are starting businesses in what you do. But for a lot of you, what you know is worth more than what you do. So people, like, if I was to look at you, Liz, and I'm sorry, I'm picking on you, Liz, just because I know your business. But if, Liz does decluttering. Liz is an expert. She'll come into your house and declutter and organize all your stuff. Like, who doesn't need that for a start? Okay. So there is one thing. But secondly, the money to be made for Liz is not just in going to people's houses. That's one thing. That's a great service. But the real money for Liz, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Liz, is in that group, because you can help people who live in America. You can help people who live in England or Spain by creating a membership to give tips and strategies and ways of decluttering your home. It could be a lower end membership, or it could be one-to-one where you're charging more, where you get on Zoom with somebody and you literally come into, you could come into my bedroom. I'm in Dublin, you're in Wexford, isn't it? Me and you could be on FaceTime and you could have me do my wardrobes right now. You don't have to physically be coming into my house. We talk a lot about it. So I'm ADHD. And a big thing with ADHD is body doubling. I spoke to my sister about it the other day because she wanted me to help her with some dance work. She runs a dance school. And she came over and sat here in my office. I have 2 desks in my office. So she sat on the other desk and we got loads done. And she was working and I was working. And she was like, it's mad. I got so much done here. And I was like, that's body doubling. Because she's there and she's working and I'm here and I'm working, it kind of gives you a G on to keep going. And sometimes that's all you need. So I want you to open your mind to that and realize that, Liz. Okay. So creating your own group program, your workshop, your membership, or your subscription, of course, is number 2 big way of making more money in your business. And this is the shift from selling one-to-one to one-to-few or one-to-a-many. So the authority builder for me, I have, 6 to 10 business owners in a group coaching setting. I teach together. It's peer-to-peer learning. That is a group coaching program. You will pay more for that than you would for an online course. An online course is different. An online course is there. It's created. You watch it. You don't get any coaching with it, but you watch the modules. So there's 2 different scales. An online program, we talk about it as like 1 to a few. You see my slides if you're on Zoom. So you get the link in my bio, Mr. Rob. Rob's like, where's your slides? I'm like, I'm on Zoom. All right. So you're just over the shoulder having a little look. You get to look at my ear. So the shift from selling from one-to-one to one to a few, you get to charge. But then if you go to one to many, that the idea behind that is that you can bring more and more and more, but it takes less work from you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So this can be a game changer for your finances. Okay. This is Miss Kelly Connor, my beautiful friend and client. So Kelly is a personal trainer in fitness. Okay. So Kelly came to me in 2020 with the problem of burnout. All of our clients wanted to see her one-to-one or in person. So this happens with fitness instructors. This happens with, Reiki masters, people in the holistic place. Everyone wants to see you one-to-one. But the problem is you get stuck in the mindset that nobody's going to go for a group. They all want to see me one-to-one. But really, when you break it down and you say to them, look, I cannot do one-to-one. I do have this group. If it's a choice between not working with you or going with a group, they'll go with a group. So Kelly couldn't see that how they would. But anyway, we worked together and because she was exhausted, she had no time with her family, she was barely profitable. And for a fitness instructor, she's doing 6 in the morning and she's doing late at night and all that. And she had small kids, so it wasn't sustainable. So the first switch that we made with Kelly was to move some of her classes online so she could do them for home. Now, bearing in mind it was 2020, so the necessity was there. She had to move online because she couldn't do a lot of in-person. So that switch was a little bit easier because it was 2020 and all the crap that brought. But her second shift was then to introduce the small group programs rather than one-to-one. Her third shift was when she created her coaching programs. So Kelly launched the Concept, which is a fitness and wellness program and an accountability program to bring together 10 women to coach them together for 12 weeks. Does that sound familiar? It was the authority builder for fitness. I taught her to do what I was doing. So she brought 10 women together did 12 modules, worked through it, did her fitness, did everything exactly the way the authority builder runs. I showed her the process, taught her how to do that, and she did fantastic. And she ran the concept for a couple of years. But over the course of the last 4 years, the concept gave Kelly the springboard to create more programs. By creating more programs, helping more people, she was able to then spend more time doing things that she loved, creating more packages, creating more programs in her business. And it gave her the time to pursue what was her real passion, and that was women's health. So studying women's health and speaking on stages to promote women's health. So right now, she's an expert in hormones for women, in perimenopause and menopause. She does fitness talks all the time. She speaks in places like Google and everything. That all came from in 2020 making that switch, opening her mind and saying, okay, I can no longer be stuck in one-to-one. Does that make sense? Yeah. Kelly's living her best life now, doing all of the things. She still burns herself out though. She still gets caught up in it, but she's a work in process and she's in progress and she's doing great with it. Karen, of course, I'll send the replays later on. So group programs allow you to serve more people. They allow you to create a sense of community. They allow you to scale your impact and without burning yourself out. You'll not only buy back your time, but your clients will get more value by connecting with others in the same journey. That's the thing, what we forget about. We forget about the fact that when we are in a group coaching program, we get peer-to-peer learning and we connect with other people. And that is gold. I know a lot of people who come to a group coaching program or come to training for the trainer and for their expertise, and a lot of them stay for the community. All right. So start thinking, what parts of your one-to-one work could be delivered in a group? Could you help more people in less time while still providing incredible value? That's the action that I want you to take today. Are you ready for shift number 3? Shift number 3, and I will have you out on time today. Shift number 3 is build digital assets. So build them once and sell them multiple times. Now, what's a digital asset? Products like an online course, your 10-part course to whatever. Each online program needs to solve a problem for your customer. They don't have to be huge problems. You know, my 10-part course to decluttering your home, my 10-part course to health and wellness, my 10-part course to a better morning routine, whatever it is, step by step. You record the modules, you record them and create them once, and you sell them often. This is an asset within the business that you can sell. Products like online courses, memberships, downloadable resources, so maybe an ebook or a checklist that they can use. Resources that they can sell even when you are not working. Make sense? So I remember hearing make money while you sleep back in the early days of business, back 15 years ago. And I always used to go, what? Sounds great, but how is it doing? I never really got it until I was in the playground with the kids. Luke was only a baby, so 9 years ago. And I was sitting there in the playground, like I was talking about last night. I had lots of apps on my phone to run my business. And I got a little ping into my Stripe that I had made a sale. And I got my first sale of a paid masterclass that I had created. And this absolutely blew my mind. So it was for €47. So it may as well have been for $4,000, guys, because I was over the moon, because that's when I realized that there are people ready to buy from you from all different price points, and you don't always have to be on and working. Does that make sense? That moment changed everything for me. So this, Michelle says, would that apply to me, Denise? Michelle, the first thing that I would like to look at for you with regards to subscriptions, because you're a product-based, your subscriptions would be your subscription of the people, because people use wax melts all the time. I'm a candle girl, so I use candles a lot. I haven't got into wax melts because I don't really know much about them. You're going to kill me. You're my client, and I don't really know how to use a wax melt. I've never had one. Isn't that funny? But I am a candle girl, so I burn them all the time, and I realize that I use them all the time. So there's absolutely a subscription model for people who buy from you, that instead of buying once, they can buy and they can get their subscription box in the post every month. We've got a one-on-one coming up, Michelle. We'll talk about that and we'll figure that out for you. Absolutely. That would be the first protocol. A second thing that you could look at maybe as a membership could be even teaching people how to create the wax melts, because I think you create them yourself, don't you? That would be a lovely membership as well. People often think, oh, if I teach people how to make them, then they won't buy from me. But that's actually not really true. I teach people all the time how to do social media and how to do, and it doesn't make a difference to your business. But we'll talk more on that. So this is Neve from House Gold. So Neve came to me with thousands of followers already, but she wasn't making any money. She had over 20,000 followers, and she hired me to come onto the Authority Builder. And I was like, whoa, she has a lot of followers. But she was making zero money. So the first thing we created were small digital assets. So if you think about it, if someone has loads of followers already, they have access to lots of traffic. Most of us don't have loads of followers. Most of us have small amount of followers. That means small amount of traffic. That means when we're launching something, we should launch higher ticket, because we can make more money and get cash flow in quicker. But those of us who have loads of followers, like Neve, she gets to launch something very small. She launched her first masterclass was 50 quid. She made like 10 grand or something on that masterclass in 24 hours. It was crazy. So she launched her second masterclass and her third and her fourth. And now her website has all her little masterclasses sitting there where people can just hop on and buy them. Okay, so Neve made 5 figures from these masterclasses almost instantly. So step number 2 in Neve's revenue was then creating our higher ticket coaching program where she could bring more money in. So moving away from one-to-one into groups helped Neve buy back her time, and then she can help more people in less time. Make sense? We are taught, I said this last night, we are taught that we have to work hard. We are taught, I think I spelled thought wrong, did I? That doesn't make sense. That's my dyslexia. But anyway, we're taught that busy is good. What if it's not, guys? What if busy is the new stupid? I said this last night. Digital assets give you passive income streams. They allow you to scale without being tied to your desk. Whether it's a course, a membership, an ebook, it's all about creating something once and selling it over and over again. So I want you to think about what digital product you could create in your business. What knowledge do you have that people would pay for? And now imagine selling that product in your sleep. Imagine your Stripe pinging. Stripe, by the way, is your payment gateway. You have the app on your phone, gives a little ping to tell you that you've made a sale. Imagine hearing that. Now, I know that we have covered a lot, guys, over the last 3 days, and this is the last day, and thank you guys for being here. Most of you, everyone here has been here all week, which is absolutely brilliant. But it's now time for you to implement these shifts within your business. Everything that we've talked about this week. And the first masterclass was all about getting clear on your message and growing your following. Second masterclass was all about that confidence on camera. And I gave you my 10 tips to get more confident. Everything that I introduced in those 10 tips, you get to implement that into your business. And then, of course, today, the 3 shifts to making more money. These are all exactly why I've created the Authority Builder, guys. The Authority Builder is a live and interactive group coaching program designed to help you raise your prices with confidence, transition from one-to-one coaching to group coaching, create and launch your first or next digital asset. You'll get weekly group calls, one-to-one coaching sessions, and access to all the tools that I use to help my clients create more profits in more time. Guys, it's fear that holds us back. It's fear of, investing in yourself. But the Authority Builder is an investment in yourself. It's not investing in me. It's not buying something, and hoping it works. It's investing in you and investing in the future of your business. For 2025, it's time to get off that fence and start to push and decide that this is my time now. This is my time to create a profitable business. Remember what we talked about last night, the fear of failure, fear of success, fear to show your face, fear of the tech, fear of judgment. We'll get rid of all that. We'll get rid of you. Stop hiding. We don't want any more hiding. Sales are a direct result of your marketing. And if you're not making sales, it's time to up that marketing game. But I want you to make sure that you are marketing the correct product. I want you to make sure that your offers are correct. I want you to make sure that you are not undervaluing. Here's a couple of little bonus sales tips for you. It is never a no until it is a no. If someone says to you, oh, maybe, or I'll think about it, that's not a no. You get to follow up with them. The money is always in the follow-up. The amount of times that I've reached out to people and I've said, oh, we were talking about the Authority Builder and I want to, you know, link back in with you and see if that's something that you want to talk about, the amount of times that they've said, oh my God, Denise, thanks for contacting me. Whereas we think it's icky. We think, oh, I don't want to hassle them, or I don't want to follow up. If you've given somebody a price for your product or your service and they have ghosted you or not replied or not come back, follow up until they say no. You have given them your time. You have given them your proposal. You have gone, you know, out of your way to send them some stuff. You can absolutely keep at them until they say no. Hey, just making sure you got that, you know, if you've got any questions, if you want to hop on a call, they don't reply, check back in with them again in a few days, check back in with them in a week. Until they say no, it's not a no. And when they say no, grand, you can move on. That's why I always say, when I'm talking to people on a sales call or talking to someone, I always want to know or a yes. I hate that I'll think about it and come back to you. You'll hear me on sales calls, I kind of go, what's the think about? Like, you're either in or you're not, you know, and if it's not, that's cool. But don't waste my time and your time by going, I'll think about it and I'll come back and I'll go forward and I'll go back and I'll go forward. Does that make sense? So it's yes or no. As my mom used to say, and I should not say this, but it's shit or get off the pot. I know I shouldn't say that, but you know, it's shit or get off the pot. It's do it or don't. Does that make sense? You know, is that a Dublin saying, or it could be a Northern Ireland saying? I'm not sure, but anyway. So I want you to look at existing customers or past customers that you've had, and what can you sell to them? Michelle, you absolutely have people that have bought from you that you can reach out to now on Instagram. Hey, how are you doing for wax melts? Do you need some more? Are yours running out? I'm sitting here.
I was just thinking of that, Denise, listening, and I just wrote down here, make a list of all the customers that I bought off. I just wrote that down. Yeah.
Absolutely. As I said, I'm a candle girl. I've only recently got into burning candles.
I do candles as well, Denise.
See? So let's chat. I need some. But my point is, I'm looking around at all the candles that I got for Christmas, and they're all nearly they're at the end.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say to me, "Oh, sure, it's only Christmas, the candles at Christmas." But I have had 2 people ordered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm finding in my office here, especially at this time, it's nice and cozy. So what I'm doing is, I come into the office, I put my little heater on. My office is in the back of my house. I put my heater on when I'm getting the kids ready for school and all, and then I light my candles so that when I come in a bit later, it's like cozy and inviting, you know?
You know the other thing you said there. Sorry if you don't mind me talking.
Yeah.
That about showing people what you do.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that, doing courses and doing and a lot of people said, "Oh no, you're showing them. So why would you do that? Why would you show people?" Do you know what I mean?
So that is a lack mindset, right? So our lack mindset makes us think, if I show people what I do, then they're just going to do it themselves and I won't have any more business. There is an infinite amount of customers for anybody, Michelle. Don't think of people as competition. Don't think, I teach people how to do social media, but yet I have an agency that does social media. Does that make sense? But I teach people to do the exact. I actually teach people. I have clients who, and I taught them how to create a business doing social media for people. So I taught them to be me, but they're not me. It's different. Does that make sense? So definitely that's there for you. We you know, just remember there's an infinite amount of customers and clients for everybody. It's not going to dry up. It's not going to be like, oh, I've sold candles to everybody who can buy them now in Ireland. I'm done, you know? And plus your product is a consumable. It's a consumable. Remember that. So yeah, put those couple of things on your list.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. In business, especially if cash flow is low, guys, you need to be making sales daily. If you do not make daily sales, then you are not making enough offers. So I want you to think about today. I know it's Saturday, but make, as Michelle said there, make a little list. Who has bought from you before? Who can I message right now and ask them to buy again? If I am, you know, for Neve, who's in doing massage and holistic type of stuff, who can you tap into there to book an appointment? Hey, I'm just checking in how you are. Did you have a lovely Christmas? You don't even have to say, do you want to book in? You can simply say, hope you had a lovely Christmas and New Year. I'm just checking in with you. You know, be relevant. Remind people we are here. Build relationships. If you're not making daily sales, you have to make more offers. So here's your 3 action steps for today. Reach out to all clients and customers. Get super visible, create assets, and look for MRR. MRR is monthly reoccurring income. I know that you could do all of this on your own, guys, but will you? So how long have you been thinking that I need to up my game? After one client's very first call with me back in April, she raised her prices and she added €8,000 to her yearly revenue after one call with me. So would she have done that without someone in her corner? She says no. She said she probably would have done it in January, but she definitely wouldn't have done it in April. She added 8 grand to her bottom line. The Authority Builder is 4 grand. So she was in profit for the Authority Builder within 1 week of buying it. Does that make sense? Sometimes all you need is someone in your corner to help you open your mind and to help you see the different options that are there. I've worked with hundreds of business women to help them through this, and I want to help you to take your business to the next level. I want to help you create your assets, your monthly recurring income, help you get visible so that leads are no longer a problem, and help you make sales so that cash flow is no longer an issue. So this is Orla Scott. She's a business coach and mentor. I can absolutely recommend Denise's program. It made such a difference to my business. The impact, the credibility, the increased clients, social media confidence, and joining a really supportive community. Denise really knows her stuff and pushes you in a very supportive way. This is Jackie O'Brien. So Jackie runs beauty salons, and she says the most beneficial part was the accountability factor. I feel that I am evolving and learning about who I want to be as the weeks go by. This is Julie, another beauty salon owner, and she said, I have changed from being a sole trader to being a businesswoman. I've hired a team to free up my time, increased my prices, and introduced packages, created an online shop for my business. Imagine what your life would look like in 3 or 6 months' time if you did some of this work. Now imagine if you don't. Like, do you really want to be in the same position in 6 months' time? Absolutely not. In my experience, we should all be learning. So let's take this journey together, me and you, and I'll literally hold your hand. No, it's going to be a headlock, guys. It's going to be a headlock through the whole process. I don't think I need to talk to you guys about this setup of the Authority Builder, do I? I think this is like meeting number 3, and you guys know how it works. As I said the other night, I do have that offer, which is 3333 for that upfront. I have never sold the Authority Builder, not in 2 years. It used to be cheaper, it went up all the time, but in the last 2 years, 3333 is actually the cheapest deal that I've ever done. But for some reason the other night when I saw that angel number, I went, that fits with what we're doing here. Catherine says, so excited to start. Yay, I'm excited to have you, Catherine. So yeah, so now is the time to sign up. It's the start of 2025. I think everybody here has booked a meeting. Have you guys? I know, Liz, I'm seeing you on Monday, am I? Yeah, cool. So anybody who's watching on the replay, just make sure you book that in. The link will be in here with it if you're watching on that replay. And I will see you guys. Denise, this is great. Has helped me so much already. Brilliant. Oh, Denise, oh, thank you. So motivational. Thanks, Hazel. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, just ping me and I'll send